Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 AAS Goddard Space Science Symposium. We are very happy to have you all here. Please welcome to the microphone Ron Burke, Associate Principal Director at the Aerospace Corporation and President of the AAS Board of Directors. Ron.
All right, thank you, Jim, and thank you to the AAS team. Welcome, everyone, to the 61st Annual Goddard Space Science Symposium. It is hard to believe that we're already at 61 with these events, but we are all very excited to be here and to welcome you all to the event. On behalf of Charlie Stegelmoyer, our Executive Vice across a large number of organizations, a large number of people. We are so fortunate to have friends and colleagues here from NASA, NOAA, DARPA, the Space Force, industry, and academia, all coming together to have discussions and to bring us all into the future. So throughout the symposium, we're going to hear continued plans for discovery and exploration on areas that are close to the Earth, around and on the Moon, out to Mars, asteroids, and even beyond. So this is a day to celebrate anniversaries. I mentioned the 61st for the symposium. It's the 70th anniversary for the American Astronautical Society. It's just yeah, exactly, right? Fantastic. The society was founded back in 1954 by 37 individuals, and that group was intent on providing a venue for being able to gather and share knowledge about space and space science. And over the years, a tremendous service has been delivered and enabled to the community to provide tremendous amount of information and ability for being able to collaborate on the science and the engineering that is enabling the space enterprise. The AAS provides venues that include, of course, our symposia, such as the Goddard Space Science Symposia, but also our technical symposia and the Journal for Astronautical Sciences. These days, in the current time frame, with this focus on the future, we do have something that our board and planning committees are referring to as the slate of 8 specific areas that we see that the space enterprise looks very different through the windshield than it does through the rearview mirror. And we've tried to recognize the value of bringing in voices and the ambassadors and planners for these areas to speak at the conferences and lay the groundwork, lay the runway for our way into the future in each of these areas. Speaking of collaboration, we couldn't do any of this without our key collaborators. In particular, we want to thank the University of Maryland, Dr. Allison Plateau, the professor and chair of the Department of Engineering. We also want to thank our planning committee, Michelle Fowler, assistant director for the space communications at NASA Goddard Space Flight Center, and Steve Arnold from Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Lab. And we certainly want to thank Goddard Space Flight Center Director, Mackenzie Listrop. Dr. Listrop became the Center Director of NASA Goddard just about a year ago, also nearing an anniversary. Prior to her role at Goddard, she served as the Vice President and General Manager of Ball Aerospace. civil space strategic business, now part of BAE. She has a PhD in astrophysics from the University College London and a degree in physics from Portland State University. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Listrup to the podium.
Thank you. I have a selection to read to you today. No, I'm not. I don't. I promise. First of all, hello everyone. It's great to be here, and thank you, Ron. Indeed, I'm about 3 weeks shy of a year here at Goddard, and it's really been a privilege to be able to, get to know the center. Certainly worked with Goddard throughout my career, but seeing it in new ways has been really a joy. And we've also had some successes and challenges that we're moving through, so it's an exciting time. So there are a lot of familiar faces in the room. So I saw folks outside and looking forward to reconnect, but there are also a lot of new faces in the room as well. So I want to make sure that we have plenty of time to be able to connect with each other and have really good substantive discussions. Our organizers have put on a great panel or a great series of talks and panels, and so the content's great. Let's try to have some, like I said, substantive conversations, because we are in a time of a lot of transition. The world has changed, the world is changing, and the space industry in particular, we have got to adapt to that. And Goddard needs to adapt to that. NASA needs to adapt. And I think that that can be scary, but also this is the time when innovation can really come out. And so I think that the sharing of ideas and the willingness to try new things is more important now than it ever has been. And so a forum like this, where we can talk to each other, where we can take time out from our day jobs and really sort of think about how can we do new things together is really critical. Partnership is, of course, important in all that we do in the space industry. I mean, very few things get done by one organization. And that partnership means international partners, certainly our industry partners, commercial players, new entrants and new stakeholders in space. We've got academia, we've got government, we have the private labs and the nonprofits. So it's a really rich ecosystem, but the partnerships need to expand and deepen. I hope that you have heard of Goddard 2040. We have a high-level vision booklet outside if you do not know. But part of the strategic pushes in Goddard 2040 is about partnerships. Yes, we already partner, but we want to figure out ways to partner in new types of collaborations, new types of activities. How do we maximize the return of NASA's science and space investments, right? And how do we come together to do more than what we can do individually? So I'm really excited to be able to say that today on sam.gov, we have released an RFI for Goddard, and it's called Concepts for Operation and Utilization of On-Site, Near-Site Buildings in Space. So the RFI is going to be due on May 20th, and it concerns the land, I'm quoting here, so concerns the land at the previous Building 2 site and the north of Building 27, which may potentially include Building 27N. And this is for on-site / near-site opportunities for industry consideration. Right now, these buildings and places are inside of the Goddard fence, but we are willing to consider moving the fence line to be able to accommodate. So I'm really hoping that we get a robust response to this RFI, because we are really honestly saying, bring us your ideas. Tell us what you think would be useful. How does a business case close? And so that kind of partnership, I just want to say, like, we do not know, it's not a foregone conclusion how we want these partnerships to look like. So, and this is, I think, the first of what I hope will be more such partnerships, but please do take a look at that RFI so that we can decide together how to move forward. So really looking forward to that. Also in the Goddard 2040 vision, if you look at those strategic vectors, one is, having Goddard really serve as an Earth system science hub. Goddard already serves as a major center in earth sciences, in climate, and on the hardware side, the data side, the modeling side. But of course, we have so many organizations that are either doing complementary or overlapping activities. What I want us to do is not say Goddard must do everything. It's how do we bring in partnerships? How can we enable new types of partnerships to really get at some of the big challenges that we have in Earth system science? Again, a system of systems. How do we get better at predicting extreme events? How do we fully build in AI and ML techniques into our climate models? How do we get the most out of our existing data sets that we have? We have enormous amounts of data. How do we get more out of that? And how do we ensure that everyone is getting the benefit of the government investments, but also the private sector work that's out there without having to, try to break someone's business model? So I think that there's a lot of space there. I was really pleased that our science division just presented their proposal for what this sort of next level implementation would look like. So looking forward to sharing that with everyone soon, because I hope you all see pieces of you in that vision. I love that the theme here is Space 2040, because as you know, NASA is looking ahead at where it needs to be to meet the challenges of the future. Goddard, same thing. We've got some real challenges and opportunities that are right in front of us for FY24, FY25, right? There are things that are right in front of us, but we also are going to be making decisions right now that we're going to have to live with 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now. And so, yes, we've got some hard choices to make, but we also have the opportunity to really shape the future. So I hope that everybody will embrace that and try to think about that as we have conversations this week. And I hope, again, for a really robust discussion and hopefully even some provocative questions and comments, right? So that we can stretch what we're really thinking about. Often we come together and, we might say the things that we've always, said to each other in other forums. I encourage us to try to take some risks, right? And let's really talk out, what do we want the future to look like? How are we going to create that now with the decisions that we're making? So I want to thank everyone involved really in the entire symposium here. It's a long and fruitful partnership, and the ideas that have come out and conversations that have come out of this symposium have helped shape the future of our entire endeavor, whether you are on the government side, the industry side, academia. And so I'm hoping that this will be no different, but again, that we really take a focus on the future and how we need to create that today. So thank you very much. I want to pass things back over to Jim Wei, and we'll start to get things started. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Lister. Appreciate it. And thank you all very, very much for being here. I want to take care of some administrative items, but very important items nonetheless. First off, again, in the spirit of collaboration, thank you to all of our very generous and supportive sponsors. They are the Aerospace Corporation, ASRC Federal, BAE Systems, the Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Lab, KBR, L3 Harris, Leidos, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and our media sponsor is Space News. Yes, thank you.